and a very warm welcome from all of us at Harmony House. And thank you all for joining us today. My name is Pavitra, and I'm a meditator from 23 years. And today's topic of this webinar is a very special topic. It's emotional immunity. So since Corona has started, this word immunity is used more than any other time in the history, because we all want to be safe and sound and protected from all the diseases outside. But today's topic is going to be about our internal diseases, the disease of anger, sadness, and many others. We know that peacelessness and ego, and there's a long list. And to talk about on this beautiful topic, we have a special guest. So can we see our guest, please? Yeah, we have special guest all the way from Switzerland, Mathias Steffen. A very warm welcome, Mathias. And when I came to know that you are from Switzerland, and in Kuwait we are hit by sandstorm and we have 45 degrees. So already I'm feeling a little immunity, inside, emotional immunity from your presence. And a little bit about Mathias. Mathias Steffen from Switzerland is a stress and resilience coach and a former headmaster. Although he was lacking nothing in life, but still there was a deep desire to know the deeper truths of life. So on a long journey of search through Asia, he discovered Raj Yoga meditation in India, which gave him back the key to his inner resources. In his many years of experience as a school director, he learned through a new spiritual perspective, and with meditation, how to deal with all sorts of people and challenges in a positive way. So when I read about this, I'm very sure that we all want to know about the tips and tricks of how to deal with all sorts of people. So, and before I hand over to you, Mathias, I just want to announce two things. One is there is Arabic translation available. I think if Dr. Salva can write in Arabic, or you can go to the interpretation icon, and when you will press that, there will be an option for Arabic translation. And the second thing is, if you have any question, please you can write down in the chat box, and we will try to take up at the end of the session. So so we can start now, I think. Over to you, Mathias.
Thanks so much, Pavitra, for the invitation and also for the introduction. And I think you introduced the topic perfectly when you compared it with the Corona crisis. But actually beyond that, when I think it's really life is all about emotions and feelings. And it's a completely universal topic. So whether young, old, male, female, from whatever country, it's all about emotions, basically. So what would make you say in the evening, it was a good day, or it was a very difficult day? It depends on the emotions. When you had good feelings of peace and joy, there can even have been many challenges along the way during the day, but when you kind of could maintain your inner strength, then you would say it was a good day. Whereas another day, maybe there were no challenges at all, everything went smoothly, but somehow inner, the feelings, the emotions, maybe some irritation, maybe some blockage or some anger, and you would say it was a kind of strange day, it was a difficult day. I didn't enjoy it so much today. So it's all about emotions. And I think this is a lifelong learning. Whether we meditate for 30 years or for 3 days, it doesn't really matter. We all have to or can advance in this topic. And yeah, my wish is actually for all of us that this evening we kind of can learn 2-3 things that we are going to try out in our practical life afterwards. So that's maybe some little change, some little betterment. So I was a headmaster for 15 years, so I can't leave it. But I ask you, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and you note down this evening 3 things. You know, from many different things we are going to talk about tonight. You note down 3 things, and you can practice this. And this is the nice things about emotions. I think as soon as we become a little bit active in dealing with our emotions, in changing something inside, I feel we can be very quickly successful. It's only when we do not try anything, when we just keep doing the same thing, same thoughts, same words, same actions, then of course also the same emotions. So it's quite good to compare emotional immunity with physical immunity. When you think of a physical immune system, it's such a blessing when you have a strong, a good, intact physical immunity. That means you're quite carefree. Whatever comes along the way, you feel safe. You're not scared. Oh, will I be able to get up well tomorrow? Will I be able to go through that? But it gives you an inner stability when you can rely on your physical immunity. And the same stability we would like to have when it comes to emotions. So when we have an intact emotional immunity, then there's also the stability. It's not that one day I am friendly and open, the next day I'm closed and I withdraw, and then the third day again it's different. But in the face of challenges, we would like to reach a level where we just can live a good life, a happy life, and also support others in their lives. So to build up emotional immunity is highly attractive, I think, for many, maybe for all of us. The question is, what can we do? How can we build emotional immunity? So I like this picture very much. It's this feeling of being free up there on the mountain. Of course, in Switzerland we have many mountains, and that's what we do. And sometimes at weekends we would go on a mountain, and we just feel free and peaceful up there. And I would like to connect that with emotional immunity, when I have the security that, yes, I can deal with difficult people. Yes, I can face challenges in life. Yes, I'm not scared of sudden changes, of challenges that come along the way. Then there is this feeling of being free, peaceful, happy. So how can we achieve that? First of all, I would like to show you this 30 seconds video. And I find it quite interesting. I didn't know that. How secretly our physical immune system works for us. And we're not even aware of it. What you see here, it will be a white blood cell, how it chases a bacteria. And look at this, it chases the bacteria without us even knowing. We don't have to do anything for that. It just works for our physical health. So now it's got it. And so that's how the white blood cells constantly secretly fight for our health. And same, we would like to have for our emotional life. What can we do that inside this process are functioning, that constantly something is giving us stability? So let us see what can happen when there is a weak emotional immunity. Let's say a situation arises, any situation. Someone is challenging you, maybe you are treated unfairly, there is injustice done to you, or you see very scary scenes that are happening in the world, any situation. And then what happens is you have an inner interpretation of this situation. And this is very personal. So if the immunity is weak, then one person from this situation would get really scared. Another person would withdraw. Oh, hold on, this is too much for me. This is too much for me. So there is not the inner stability. Yes, I can do that. I can face that. Withdrawing. Or immediate defense mechanism. So someone is challenging you or saying something and you don't understand it, and immediately you start defending or maybe even attacking. Or this one, anger. Situation arises and then something inside is happening that immediately creates this anger. So these are all signs, just 4 to mention. Of course, there's many, many more. Irritation, peacelessness, and then it goes into physical symptoms like sleeplessness, the nervous system is not healthy, you have an upset stomach, and so on. So it's like we are carrying an inner bomb, and the bomb can anytime explode. So how can we do to get rid of these inner bombs? And let's see how this looks like with a strong emotional immunity. So same situation arises. Inner interpretation will be very different because of the strong immunity. And the reaction, the response is, this person can keep a distance and think, oh, what is going on here? What is this person doing or this person saying? Does this person need any help? I see that she is angry or irritated. Can I do something? Or this one thinks, oh, okay, this person is accusing me. Is there something about it? Maybe not 100%, but maybe 10% of what the other person is saying is true. Okay, sure, maybe I should change that. Or this person doesn't this situation even see as a problem. He just thinks, okay, this is the situation, so let's see what we can do. Let's move forward. No accusation, no guilt, no shame, no anger, just moving forward. This is the situation, what can I do? And actually, of course, to me also, when I hear myself saying this, it sounds like a very high aim. But when you look at your life story, there has been many situations actually where you showed this emotional immunity. Actually, we are strong. We are strong. When you think, you have gone through so many challenges, through so many life situations, and yet you're standing, you're here, you're every day, you're performing. So that means there is this inner strength, there is this resilience also that we say. But what we would like to do is we would like to have it more constant. So that in all situations, we can remain more and more emotional immune, emotional stable. So how can we do that? Now, I would like to make a comparison with the physical immunity. How do you build up physical immunity? What do you do for your physical health to remain stable? First, general strengthening. What would this family do? These are the things we know. They would eat well. As we can see, they go outside, movement is good, sun, fresh air. They seem to be happy, so they do something, they are active. This is like a general strengthening of the physical immunity, immune system to achieve immunity. And then, second pillar, specific strengthening. So when someone knows, I see that my kidney are not so good these days, so you need to do something for your kidney. You need to strengthen it. You drink the right tea. Or of course, when you have a flu, you take rest, you stay warm, you drink tea. So there is a specific threat, and you do specifically something for that. And the third pillar, guess what it is? It's protection. We protect ourselves from rain, we protect the body from rain, we protect the body from heat, from cold, from dirt, all this. So these are the three pillars of physical immunity. Now, what would you think? What are the three pillars to build up emotional immunity? You can ask yourself, do you have an idea? What would it be? So, I'm equipped here with famous Swiss chocolate. If someone has the right answer and writes it in the chat right now, this chocolate will immediately go to the post office tomorrow to reach the winner. So what are the three pillars to build up emotional immunity? So let's see. Three pillars of emotional immunity. Because again, this is what we want. We want emotional stability in our lives. Someone writes detachment. Excellent. I think very important, yes. So the first pillar is general strengthening. So just do something to keep yourself emotionally healthy. Second pillar, specific strengthening. That means you have specific emotional challenges. So you do something against it. And the third pillar, protection. You protect yourself from negativity, from negative influences. So exactly the three pillars. I saw the answers that everybody wrote. I think these are very, very good answers actually. So no waste thoughts, yoga knowledge, exactly, patience. Patience is such a emotional disease killer actually, such a support. Gratitude. There has been many studies even that have proven that gratitude makes you emotional, very strong, very healthy. Virtues. Okay, thanks for all these good answers. So now we would like to look a little bit deeper into these three pillars. The first pillar, emotional immunity. Answers are still coming in. Thanks. Forgiveness, yes. So again, this analogy to physical health, physical immune system. What does it mean to generally strengthen the physical immune system? It would be movement. We hear that, right? It's not new, absolutely not new. Movement is so important to stay physically healthy. Nutrition, most important. Sun, fresh air, like going out, being active, not sitting at home, tied to your chair all the time. And then happiness. Now, when you're happy inside, it's like almost nothing can happen to you. Maybe that's why it's called happiness. When you're happy, nothing can happen to you. So, and what does it mean when we look at this now for the emotional immunity? The analogy, what does it mean, movement? It means bringing movement into your thinking. That's very, very important. When we always think the same thoughts about a person, we will always get the same emotions. Very, very simple. When we want to improve a relationship, either with a person, either with a situation, even with my body, I need to change my thinking. So bringing movement into my thinking. Actually, just yesterday, someone asked me, I have these always the same thoughts coming back about challenging situations, persons. So how can I prevent myself from always having the same thoughts? And then I suggested to have a very short process of 4 steps that really helps you to move out of this constant same thinking. The first is to see, okay, what are the situations and persons that make me actually always have these thoughts of tension and or worry or whatever. So first you note that down. What are the situations? Second is okay, for this person, but what are the practical thoughts? What do I think about this person, about the situation? What you do is you bring something that is very subtle, hidden here. You bring that outside onto paper, and then when you see it, when it comes out, you can change it, you can handle it in a much better way. So the third step would then be, have an alternative. What can you think instead? What can you think instead? And when you note this down, then when you come back to the same thoughts, then immediately then you realize, oh no, this is an old thought. And so you change the thought. And the fourth is then to let go. So actually the third step is also to ask, do I have to do something? Can I do something? Can I change something practically? And if you can't, you let go. So nutrition. Nutrition, this means for the emotional immunity, what is the emotional quality of what I take in, of what I read, of what I listen, of my conversation with people? So, for example, we don't have to keep ourselves over-informed. Often reading a headline is actually enough, and maybe not even every day, but every second day. So, because when we read a lot and in detail about problems in the world, we create fear inside. It's good to be informed, but only enough so that we can understand. And what are the conversations that I have with other people? For example, when I realize that always with this person, I end up talking negative about others, for example, then let me change that. Because it all comes in here and it stays. So this is the negative nutrition. The third aspect, sun, fresh air, stepping outside into life. This is for the physical. What does it mean emotionally? It means to step out of my little world inside, of my little problems, to realize what is really important. What is really important in life? Peace, love, cooperation. You know, for example, when you go to work and you have to aim, I want to finish all the tasks today. It won't happen. Or I would like that that everybody's friendly to me today. Maybe it will not happen. But when you go out in the morning and you say, whatever is going to happen, I want to spread peace. I want to bring kind of happiness in the place where I work. And I feel often it's not very difficult to change the mood in a group of people. It's actually very simple. No, you put on a smiling face and you say nice things, you do a compliment here, a nice remark there. So rather than waiting for others to step out and create a good atmosphere, let me be the one who does that. And then the fourth aspect, happiness. For the emotional immunity, it means learning and novelty. Doing new things, saying new things, trying out experiment, learning something about the self, accepting challenges. So that brings deep inner happiness, actually. Not superficial, but inner contentment. So you see, I just gave my interpretation of what this means for the emotional immunity. Basically, we can say, we can ask ourselves, what does the soul need? What does the soul need? For the body, we ask, what does the body need to be healthy? And for the emotional immunity, the question is, what does the soul need? We could actually ask ourselves this question many times a day. And then you would find, oh, actually, I need just a break, 10 minutes. You know, people running burnouts because they don't take breaks. Or what does the soul need? I need some good moments because I'm in a intense working phase. So I need also some light moments. And then what often happens is when we need that the most, then we don't pay attention to it, then we don't give it. So I'm just doing stress workshops with people, and if people just learn to listen to the soul, what do I need? I need a break. I want now to go outside for 10 minutes for a walk. I want to talk to someone, so you pick up the phone. These are little things make a huge difference. So the second pillar, that's a very important one. Specific strengthening. These are the little bombs. Here, we have to ask ourselves, what are actually the same situations that again and again create emotional instability? Same persons, same situations. And what often happens is we get so used to it that we don't even consider to do something against it. But I really think now, this time we are living in, we can't continue like this. We can't suppress our challenges. We have to embrace that. Embrace in a sense like a knowledge. Okay, this situation again and again makes me sad, makes me upset, creates fear. Or when I meet this person again and again, I feel very small afterwards. I lose my self-respect or I get upset. So we have to do something against it. Now, what can we do? I would like to share briefly something that I just experienced a few weeks back. I was in India and I was tested COVID positive. I was in the main quarter of the Brahma Kumaris in Madhuban, and I was tested COVID positive, so I had to go into quarantine, which was actually quite a nice experience because I was with people from all over the world. We were about 10, 12. And then someone else came. So a person, a young sister, as we say, a young woman, who normally is very stable, very happy, but she came and was quite irritated. And then she said, now I have to stay here for 10 days, but actually I have work engagements, and how can I be connected to the world? And I told her, I have internet on my mobile. You can do a hotspot for her with this. And then she became quiet and she said, I can't believe what just happened. Now I was in such a tension, and you say this, and everything goes away. All the tension is gone. And I am peaceful and happy. And she was totally surprised how from 1 second to another, your inner state of being can completely change. Now the question is, why did this change? How is this possible that this changed? And actually what changed inside her is the understanding. And we have experienced that many times, all of us. For example, you could be a little bit upset with someone, and then you hear why this person is doing that. And then it opens your heart and you think, yeah, okay, now I can understand. So understanding is the key. And so I would like to present you with 5 key understandings that can make a big difference in your emotional immunity. But before I share this, I would like to give you 1 minute, and on your paper, just note down what are the situations and the persons that are emotionally challenging for you, that repeatedly make you emotionally unstable. You get upset or sad, or you lose your self-respect. So just take 1 minute, note down these situations, these persons, and then I will continue. Yes, let's hope everyone is writing. Because I feel now if the participation of a presentation is a bit active, it just makes such a big difference. Okay, thank you. So I think we will notice it's most often, or maybe always, it's not a list of 20 things, 25 things. Normally in our lives, it's about 4, 5, maybe 6 things that we find, yes, this is again repeatedly challenging me. So now that I've noted down, you listen to these 5 key understandings and you see if there is something for you that can help you to become more emotionally immune in these situations or towards these persons. Okay? So the first is a very relieving and simple truth. I can't change anyone. And this is actually so good. And it's also necessary that it is this way. Imagine if now I see there's 50 people here on Zoom. If everybody could change me, this one would like to change this in me and somebody would like to change something else in me. So it would be highly unpleasant. But we cannot change. So we try, somehow it's in our subconscious, we think we can change people, but actually we can't. We can influence them. So if I would like someone to be more peaceful, so let me be very peaceful in front of them. If I would like to be someone more friendly, let me be very friendly. Or just accept that you can't change. And how can we accept this? It's a very, very simple method. Because we believed so long that we can change people. It takes a little while to convince the self. So you just tell yourself, I can't change anyone. So you can even sit, have a cup of tea, 10 minutes. You repeat that very slowly to yourself. And then, or you go for a walk at the beach, in the forest. We have forests here, you have beach. And you just repeat yourself, I can't change anyone. And suddenly you will feel how the pressure is taken from the soul, because suddenly you start accepting. It's a very beautiful experience, actually. The second key understanding, there is benefit in everything. So our understanding is based on what I have seen and what I have heard, what I understand. But there's so many things I just don't know. And often we don't understand why something happening, but afterwards we can see why something happening. And it took me a while to accept that there's benefit in everything, because I thought, well, okay, sometimes afterwards, after the situation has gone by, you see what the benefit is, but sometimes I can't see that. It only seems to be negative. But my understanding is sometimes the soul has to become free of something, and this itself is the benefit. You see? For example, when the body is challenged, that is going through some sickness, there is something in the body that has to go, something that has to leave, something that has to be clarified in the body. And after that, it's good. And sometimes you don't even know what has been wrong. So same. Sometimes we go through experience and we don't see what is actually being clarified. So the third key understanding, I can learn something for me. So that turns a situation that looks like a loss into a gain. Something difficult, for example, you can tell yourself, okay, if I learn to remain peaceful in this situation, then you gain something for your lifetime. And this will help you in many, many other situations also. So we can turn a loss into gain. But we have to find out, what can I learn here from another person? What can I learn from another person, from a situation? So this one, fourth, this world is now changing. This world is changing. Everything is changing. It's like the 4 seasons. So the year, here in Europe, we have the 4 seasons. It cannot be the same. Spring will always turn into summer. Summer will always turn into autumn, and then it will be winter. And you can't prevent that. So now the world is in a spiritual winter. That means there is suffering, there is big challenges, there is harshness. But the light of a new era is also coming through. So we see this dark side, but we see also that people come up with new ideas, with new understandings, with new way of doing things. Technology comes up with new solutions. And so change sometimes is silent and smooth, and sometimes it's very dramatic. And so to accept that the world is changing, that the whole world is going through a turbulent phase, heading towards a better future, it will boost my emotional immunity, and I can accept, yes, it has to be. We cannot expect that life is easy, smooth, so it makes me strong inside. The world is changing. And it's changing into a better future. But the change sometimes, as I said, is loud, unpleasant. So, but when we accept it, then we can be emotionally strong. And the fifth, actually, I leave open, because every one of us, every soul is has such a treasure of wisdom inside. So find for yourself a key affirmation that will carry you through challenging situations. A key affirmation. And you just give yourself that thought again and again, in the morning, in the evening, when you go to bed. So, and how to create this new reality? There's 2 steps. Very simple. First, you have to see it. This is the first step. And second step, you have to practice it. So very practically, when you want to boost your emotional immunity in the relationship with a person that keeps challenging you, first you have to see inside how you and this other person are getting along well with each other. And you can do that very simply. You just see how you are smiling and the other person is smiling. Maybe there's other persons involved as well. So you just hold on to that picture inside. Can you do that now? You create a picture inside, you are smiling, and the other person is smiling. Hold on to that. Hold on to that. So, I promise you, when you have a difficult time with a person, if you do this exercise over a few days, maybe even 2-3 weeks, your feelings inside towards this person starts changing. And as you create a new reality inside, and this reality will also more and more manifest outside, because the way you start talking to this person, it will change. The way you relate, it will change. So you create a new reality here inside. Same with the situation, a challenging situation. You see how you would like to have this situation, how you are able in this situation to remain peaceful, to remain loving. You see yourself like that again and again, and then you practice it. So I see time is flying. We come to the third pillar, how we can build up emotional immunity. And you remember what that was? It was protection. Protection, with what does it have to do? See this person, why does she feel safe? Why does this person feel safe? Because there is a distance between the tigers and her. And this distance is actually the protection. That means if I can keep a distance between emotionally disturbing or negative scenes and myself, this will be very, very good for my stability. So, very practically speaking, staying away from negative movies, for example, violent movies, because we think, oh, come on, I have seen that so many times, but it comes in the soul. So let's keep ourselves away from that. Or nutrition that food that is produced with violence. So if I can keep at my a distance to that, I don't take it in, that will be very helpful. But something else, and this we will then try out in a meditation. You will notice that the situations and the persons that you feel challenging, you feel them to be very, very close. They are right here in your face. You think of the situation and it feels close. You think of that person and it feels close. And we can inside, that's in the soul, with the mind, with the intellect, we can create a distance. And we feel then protected and secure. Because when we feel secure, we are emotionally stable. When there's insecurity, we get defensive very quickly. We get upset very quickly. But when we feel secure, when everything is at a distance, detachment, somebody wrote that, then my emotions will be much more stable. There will be immunity. So I suggest we take this now into a short meditation where we try how can we create this distance inside. And it's a meditation that we can do when we feel that there's persons or there is situations that scare me. Because the fear is actually, when you look, what is basically the fear? It's about the fear of losing again my peace. The fear of losing again my happiness. And we don't want that. So let's try that out, how we can build up this protection in a short meditation. So I invite you to sit upright. The first step is always to relax the body. Just check if there is anywhere some tension, and let's go. And as you relax the muscles, you feel like the whole system is slowing down. The thoughts, the heartbeat, the breathing. Second step, just watch your breathing. Stay with your attention with your breath. This can be at the belly, how the belly is moving. This can be at the nostrils, where the air is coming in and flowing out. Just stay with the breath for a moment. Enjoy the silence that is becoming more and more stronger inside. And now bring your attention to the middle of the forehead. And you can visualize a tiny point of light. And this light is very warm and very strong. Imagine how this point of light now creates an aura of light all around your body. See and feel yourself in an orb of light, an aura of light. And this aura can be as big as you want it to be. It can be 1 meter large, 2 meter large, 3 meters. See and feel yourself in this aura of light, And within that aura, it's completely quiet, peaceful, secure. And visualize that around this aura there is a silver wall, not thick, but very strong. Silver or golden, as you would like it to be. Now your protection is complete. There is the aura around you. And then around this aura, this shield of silver or gold. And outside this shield, see these challenging situations, challenging relationships that you noted down. And see how they cannot enter your aura. You are completely protected. Everything stays in a distance. And you feel safe. And when we bring our attention back to the room we find ourselves in, then don't let go of this aura and the shield. Let it be like that. Bring your attention back and feel how nothing and no one threatening can come close to you. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So, I don't know how to say thank you to you. And first of all, first thought which is coming to my mind is thanks a lot for the silver wall, the aura, which we really want to keep around us all the time, to be spiritually, emotionally immune. And really, thank you for this stimulating and practical and direct from the heart talk. And so many things we all liked, of course. I got so many messages on my personal phone. But one thing which is the highlight for me is, first thing is you left that open. We have to find for our own self, right?
Yes.
What we want to strengthen, because we don't want to be spoon-feeded all the time. That was really wonderful. And also, we can't change anyone. It gives us that strength immediately.
Yeah, that's true.
Really. So thanks a lot. Let's start with the questions. First question, very interesting question. Somebody sent that, does too much of immunity will make us cold or too harsh towards others' feelings? They will see that, oh, they are cold and not affected. So is it possible?
Too much humility.
Immunity, that we are immune to everybody's feelings and like
right,
that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's a good question. No, actually, the nature our true nature, the nature of the soul is whatever comes, we would like to respond in a positive, kind way. We would like to be peaceful. We would like to be loving. We would like to be happy, joyful. But then, because we are not emotionally immune, sometimes we don't manage. We feel threatened, we feel challenged, and then we go actually against our deep intrinsic nature and we react with irritation, we become very quickly defensive, and we challenge others. And so when we become immune, then this won't happen. And our true intrinsic nature comes into play. So very practically, someone comes and challenges you, says something to you that's really not nice. And they would have a reason because, maybe someone has a very big challenge at home or goes through big troubles. And so they are not in a good state. And someone comes from this kind of mood and challenging you. If you're emotionally stable, immune, then you see that and you can remain peaceful and cooperative. Yes, sometimes we have to protect ourselves from the negativity from others. I find that's always something very important to mention because we are all very kind people. Those people who listen to these kind of talks, we are all very kind, but we also need to be strong. And sometimes we have to protect ourselves. But it's a huge difference if I protect myself with anger and shouting, or if I protect myself peacefully, respectfully, if I say, look, don't go further, please. Or if someone, is very agitated, and if you're emotionally immune, you can protect yourself and say, look, I see you're very irritated now. I cannot work like this. I take now a break for 10 minutes, and afterwards I come back and we can continue to work. So, and if we can respond like this, then we won't spoil relationships, and we feel very good about ourselves.
Thank you. So this is really wonderful answer that true immunity is when we are stable and in our true nature of the soul. That is true immunity, right? This is what I got the message from you.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, the immunity protects our true nature. Mm-hmm.
And somebody, I think maybe that is he or she is a science student, I think they're asking that sometimes we get the sickness. So virus enters our body and then the body builds the immunity, right? Because then white blood cells or something. But with that, okay, so can we do the same with the emotional immunity? So anger has come, and can anger now produce some inside anti-anger viruses or bacteria inside?
Absolutely, yes. And that's not theoretical. I'm sure we all have experienced this. So let's say the body is challenged by virus. Now, at the beginning, it can deal well with it, or be it a virus, a bacteria. It can deal well with it, but at some point, it's a kind of the body immunity is exhausted, and then we get sick. So that's why we keep doing something for our physical immune system. That's why we go and do some walks. That's why we watch that make sure we have a healthy diet. That's why we have happy moments. These are the things. We go out the fresh air and sun. So emotional immunity, same. There is a kind of basic emotional immunity. There's little challenges here and there. But if we don't keep strengthening it, then at some point it will be exhausted. And then something little minor happens and I explode because there's no more immunity. It's like it's kind of consumed, it's used up. So that's why emotional balance. This is not something we do when we are already kind of down, when we feel low. Then we have the thought, oh, maybe I should do something for my well-being. No, this is natural. No, we are here to live a good life. We are here to be happy and peaceful. So, and it's very important that we create our lives in such a way that we feel peace, that we feel joy. So, and that's why, for example, when you are in a very intense working phase, so you have to work hours and hours at your desk. So this is actually the moment where we have to be very careful that we do not neglect to do nothing for the emotional balance, emotional immunity. So I need to make sure that even in this phase, I need to have little moments of joy. I need to have enough rest. Very, very important. Every sportsman, sportswoman knows to perform well, you have to take rest. You have to give the muscle a break. So same, we do again and again, we do something for our emotional well-being. And this will give me the strength to deal with challenges.
Thank you. Yes. So when all these negative emotions come, so that is also a sign that I need to work on myself and strengthen myself.
Yes.
So let us take a question from the Arabic chat. So somebody's asking, how do we get closer to relationships and strengthen them if we always put a distance to protect? This is how it is translated.
Right. This protect, this you do with relationship where you feel again and again I fall into the trap, and again I lose my peace, I lose my happiness, I lose my self-respect. So I want to change that, right? At some point I have to realize, no, I cannot continue like this. And I can change that. I have the power. And one first step to change that, to turn a challenging relationship into a positive one, is to create distance. And this will allow me, when the next situation comes up, this will allow me to respond the way I want and not to react immediately. So this is to come away from automatic negative reactions. This distance. But it's not that we keep distance to all and everyone.
Thank you, Mathias. So next question is, actually we have many questions coming and we have to finish within next 3-4 minutes. So somebody's asking, what gets you excited about life? I don't know about you, or they're asking some general question. What gets you excited about life? What life lesson did you learn the hard way? Yes, I think from your personal life. Somebody's interested in you.
Yeah. Okay, I try to answer that in short. No, I had a really wrong understanding about tolerance. So in my job, I was treated quite badly, and I took it like, oh, okay, probably I have to learn to be tolerant, and I kept being nice, I kept being open, kept being friendly, and there were some people, they really were quite nasty. And then I learned, actually it was a talk from Anthony Serrano, I learned together with balance, with tolerance, you have to be able to set limits. Otherwise, it's a donkey. He said it's a donkey tolerance. in a way, okay, just please do with me whatever you want. So this is not spiritual, powerful. So that means I had a wrong understanding here, a wrong understanding, and that let me do the wrong thing. And then as soon as I could correct my understanding, I still would remain respectful, but I very clearly also would set limits. Say, no, look, now you go too far. You can't do that. And people, they want to see how far they can go. It's a subconscious thing. They want to see where are the limits. So that was how I learned something in a bit a hard way.
Very nice, because it is actually answering somebody's question. Somebody's asking the same actually question, that in business world, how can we be aloof of impending disaster? One needs to take hard stand for themselves. So exactly what you have said, that there are limits and we need to respect that. So time is actually up, but at the end, I want to ask the most important question of today's webinar. Somebody's asking me, who is the winner of the Swiss chocolate?
I send it to you and then you can decide.
Yeah, so now I will be in the hot seat. Okay. So
Exactly.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Thank
I'm getting so many beautiful messages and the feedback about today's this talk. And the people are asking about the recordings. If the technical team can send the YouTube on the chat box so that everybody can note down. This webinar will be posted on YouTube. And also thank you, Dr. Salva from Bahrain. She was translating from Bahrain actually for the Arabic audiences. And really so lovely. And we hope that you all have taken that one point for yourself, which will change your life. So because then I was able to see that how much effort Mathias has put in the PowerPoint and all the colors and all the pictures. It was so beautiful, and really we appreciate that. And thank you everybody for joining, and thank you, Mathias.
Thanks so much.
We will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.